Attention seniors, starting April 2026, your Social Security deposit could change without warning. Last Friday, a 72-year-old named Patricia in Seattle saw an extra 9,408 appear. She thought her account was hacked, and her stomach dropped in seconds. She called her bank, then waited on hold, feeling scared and embarrassed. The truth was real, legal, and tied to rules most people never understood. Before I show you what's happening, quick question. Are you subscribed yet? People miss time-sensitive updates when this channel doesn't hit their feed. That's when panic starts, because you find out after money already moved. Don't let an algorithm decide if you stay informed or stay confused. Hit subscribe right now so you catch the next urgent update. Here's the problem you're about to face, and it's bigger than one deposit. April is a heavy paperwork month inside the Social Security system this year. Old benefit calculations are being corrected, and new deductions are also shifting. That means your net deposit can jump, shrink, or arrive on a different day. If you're not ready, your first thought will be something went wrong. Some changes are good, like higher monthly benefits for certain retirees. Some changes are neutral, like payments moving because of weekends and holidays. Some changes feel bad, like Medicare premiums pulling more from your deposit. And some changes look suspicious, like a surprise lump sum in your account. Your job is to learn the patterns now, before confusion hits your household. A lot of retirees were shorted for years because of two old federal rules. These rules mostly hit public workers with pensions outside Social Security taxes. Teachers, city workers, firefighters, and hospital staff were common targets of cuts. Many people never got a clear explanation, just a smaller deposit every month. Now a newer law is undoing many of those cuts, and payments are adjusting. So you might see two things happen close together in April. First, your monthly amount could rise because your record gets recalculated. Second, you might get a back payment covering months you were underpaid. That back payment can look like a strange bonus or like a bank error. It isn't a bonus and it isn't a bank issue, but it needs attention. Let me tell you about Patricia. She's 72 years old and lives in Seattle, Washington, in a small condo. She taught art in public schools, then retired with a modest state pension. One afternoon, she checked her phone and saw a deposit for $9,418. Her normal deposit is steady, so that number felt like a flashing alarm. 2 days earlier, she had noticed her regular deposit was $168 higher. She was happy, but also confused because nobody warned her about an increase. Then the lump sum hit, and she felt her face get hot with fear. She called her bank first, and the banker sounded just as unsure. That's when she started thinking about scams, and she couldn't focus on dinner. By the next morning, she had made 3 calls and still had no answers. A neighbor told her to check her benefit notices, but none had arrived yet. Patricia thought, if this money is a mistake, they'll take it back fast. She even considered moving it to savings, just to hide it from thieves. The pressure made her shaky, and she barely slept that night. What solved it was simple, but most people don't do it early. She logged into her Social Security account online and read the new message. It explained a recalculation tied to her public pension work history. Her monthly benefit rose, and the $9,418 covered missed amounts since the change. Today she's calm, but she wishes she'd known the signs ahead of time. Now here's what frustrates me, and it might frustrate you too. Millions of people will see changes, but the notices often arrive late. Some letters show up after the deposit, which makes you feel blindsided. And when you call a bank, they can't explain a federal benefits adjustment. So the system creates panic first, then explanation later, and that's backwards. Quick pause. What state are you watching from right now? Drop your state name in the comments so I know what rules might apply. Different states handle pensions and retiree planning in very different ways. Your comment also helps this reach seniors who need this information today. This makes me angry because confusion isn't harmless for seniors. When you're on a fixed income, a weird deposit feels like a threat. You start thinking about fraud, identity theft, or lost eligibility. Some people freeze spending, skip prescriptions, or delay bills out of fear. That stress is avoidable if you know what triggers these deposit changes. Another thing that triggers fear is the payment calendar itself. Your payment day can shift when the usual date lands on a weekend. Also, some benefit types send money on different cycles than retirement benefits. So April can include early deposits, delayed deposits, or 2 deposits close together. If you don't track your schedule, your brain fills the gap with worry. Then there's the net amount problem, and this trips up almost everyone. Your gross benefit can go up, while your net deposit barely moves. That's because Medicare premiums and other deductions can rise at the same time. So you think, they promised an increase, but your account doesn't show it. It's not always a mistake, but you must check the numbers the right way. Let me tell you about Thomas. He's 74 years old and lives in Atlanta, Georgia, near his grandkids. He spent years as a county employee and later worked a private job too. He expected one steady deposit and he budgets down to the last dollar. In early April, his deposit arrived 2 days later than he expected. That delay made him nervous because rent was due the same morning. He called his landlord, then called his bank, and both said wait and see. When the deposit finally hit, it was $92 lower than March. Thomas felt angry because he thought he was supposed to get a bump. His first thought was that someone changed his Medicare plan without permission. Then the mail arrived with a notice that didn't match his bank deposit. It listed a higher gross benefit, but his net deposit was still lower. He started feeling trapped, like every number had a different story. He called a friend who said, "Just ignore the gross number, that's useless." But Thomas knew ignoring it could cost him, so he dug in anyway. The real issue was a deduction change tied to his Medicare premium bracket. His gross benefit rose by $57, but his premium deduction rose by $149, so his net deposit dropped by $92, exactly what his bank showed. Once he saw the breakdown online, the numbers finally made sense. But he lost 2 days to worry, because nobody explained net versus gross. Now he checks his benefit summary monthly and writes down deduction changes. He also set a small buffer in his checking account for timing shifts. That buffer is only $320, but it prevents a rent panic. Thomas didn't get rich from this, but he got control back. And control is what you're really chasing when money feels unpredictable. Real quick, if you're getting value from this, hit the like button right now. The algorithm pushes videos with strong like ratios to more seniors. That means more people avoid panic when deposits don't match expectations. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps someone you'll never even meet. Here's the hopeful part, because there is hope in this mess. Many retirees will finally get money they should have been receiving for years. Some will see a monthly increase that makes groceries less stressful. Some will get a back payment that helps with credit cards or home repairs. But hope only helps you if you don't accidentally mess it up. I've seen people treat a back payment like free money, then regret it. They spend it fast, then later learn their taxes or benefits got complicated. Or they forget to keep records, then can't explain the deposit to a program. The goal is not just receiving money, but handling it without creating new problems. So you need a calm plan, even when the deposit looks like a miracle. You also need to protect yourself from scammers who copy real events. When real back payments hit, criminals send fake texts and fake SSA calls. They'll say your money is frozen and they need your bank login now. They'll use fear because it works, and seniors are the target. Knowing real patterns helps you spot the fake ones faster. Let me tell you about Barbara. She's 69 years old and lives in Denver, Colorado, in a rented townhouse. She worked as a public hospital nurse, then later did part-time clinic work. She always believed her Social Security was just smaller because of her pension. In April, she got a letter saying her benefit was being recalculated. The next week, she received a deposit that was $214 higher than usual. She felt relieved, then confused, because she didn't know why it happened now. 2 days later, she received a second deposit for $6,730. Barbara stared at the screen, then started crying because she needed the money. But the fear came right after because she worried it was a trap. Then a man called claiming he was confirming her eligibility for the new amount. He knew her full name and her old address, which made the call feel real. He told her to read a code from her phone to verify the deposit. Barbara almost did it because she didn't want to lose $6,732. At the last second, she hung up and called her daughter, shaking with anger. They checked her online account together and the deposits matched official updates. The call was a scam timed to a real adjustment, and that's the scary part. Barbara changed her login password and added extra security to her account. She moved $4,000 to savings, then left the rest for bills and a cushion. Today, she's grateful, but she's furious the scammer almost stole her peace. Her lesson is one you should steal and keep forever. When money changes, you verify it through official channels you already trust. You don't trust a caller, a text, or a link that shows up suddenly. You don't hand out codes, account numbers, or passwords to fix anything. You slow down, breathe, and make the system prove itself to you. Think of someone who needs this information today. Your parent, your neighbor, your church friend, or the guy down the street. Someone could lose money or peace of mind without these warning signs. Share this video with them now and text the link immediately. Don't wait until later, because later is when the confusion already started. Now let's talk about the part nobody enjoys, the mail. April is a big month for letters, recalculation notices, and deduction updates. Those letters go to the address Social Security has on file, not your memory. If you moved, a general forwarding order might not catch every official notice, so you can miss the explanation, even while the deposit already changed. That missing letter is what creates the what just happened moment, and when you feel lost, you become easier to scare and easier to trick. This is why I keep pushing one boring habit. Keep your profile current. Your address, your phone, and your bank routing information must be correct. Small errors can delay help when you need answers quickly. Now let's hit the payment timing issue without getting too technical. Many retirement benefits pay on different weeks based on your birth date range. If a normal date lands on a weekend, payments often arrive earlier. Other benefit types can follow different rules, and that's where confusion starts. So don't compare yourself to your neighbor because their schedule may be different. Let me tell you about William. He's 76 years old and lives in Jacksonville, Florida, in the same home. He was a city firefighter, then took a private security job after retirement. He expected a small increase this year, but he didn't expect timing changes. In April, he received his deposit earlier than usual, and it felt suspicious. He thought, did they pay me twice, or did they pay me early? That thought sounds small, but it triggered a chain of bad decisions. He canceled a medical appointment because he feared his bank account was wrong. Then he spent hours calling customer service lines that couldn't explain anything. By lunchtime, he was exhausted, angry, and blaming himself for not understanding. The next day, his neighbor told him about recalculations for public pension workers. William had never heard the details. He just accepted smaller benefits years ago. He checked his account online and saw an updated benefit explanation. His monthly benefit rose by $193, and the early date was calendar-related. He was relieved, but he felt cheated that nobody told him years earlier. What helped William most was writing down 3 numbers in one notebook. He wrote his gross benefit, his Medicare deduction, and his net deposit. Then he tracked the expected pay week for the next 3 months. That simple tracking stopped the panic loop that was stealing his energy. Now he says the best money tool is Clarity, not another budget app. So yes, there's a real change wave coming through in April. Some of you will see more money because past reductions get corrected. Some of you will see different timing because calendars don't care about habits. Some of you will see a net change that doesn't match the increase headline. And all of you can avoid panic if you treat this like a checklist. Here's what you should not do when your deposit looks different. Don't assume fraud first, and don't assume it's a gift either. Don't move money around in a rush because mistakes create new headaches. Don't trust strangers who contact you after a deposit change, and don't rely on your bank to explain a federal benefits adjustment. Here's what you should do instead, and it's simpler than it sounds. You verify through official accounts you log into, not links you're sent. You separate gross from net because your budget lives in the net number. You track timing because a date shift can look like a missing payment. And you keep your contact information current so notices reach you fast. If you're thinking, this feels overwhelming, let me calm that down. You don't need to become an expert in every rule and every formula. You just need a repeatable system for checking changes without panic. A small routine done monthly beats a big scramble done once a year. And I'm about to give you that routine in clear steps. Here's exactly what you need to do. I'm giving you 5 steps, and each one is simple. You don't need to do everything today, but start with step 1. Write these down on paper, because paper doesn't crash like a phone. If you do these steps, you'll feel calmer when deposits shift. Ready? Let's begin with step 1 this week. Step 1. Log into your Social Security online account and review your benefit summary. Look for any new messages about recalculations, adjustments, or payment changes. Write down your gross benefit, your deductions, and your net deposit amount. If you can't log in, start the account setup using the official website. Don't use links from texts or emails, even if they look real. If your number's changed, you'll see it there before rumors reach you. Do this by Friday, so April doesn't surprise you on a busy morning. Step 2. Check whether you ever worked in a job with a public pension system. That includes many school districts, city departments, counties, and public hospitals. If you did, look for notes about past benefit reductions from old rules. Those rules are often called the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset. If you think you were affected, contact Social Security through official contact paths. When you ask, say you want to confirm whether a recalculation applies to you. This step matters because it can mean a monthly increase and a back payment. Step 3. Track your payment timing for the next 3 months on a calendar. Write the expected week your deposit usually arrives based on your birthday range. Then add a note that weekends and holidays can move payments earlier. If you receive a deposit early, don't assume it's extra money. Compare it to your written schedule and your online account messages. This saves you from the missing payment fear that ruins your whole day. Do this today if rent, utilities, or prescriptions depend on exact timing. Step 4. Separate Medicare and other deductions from the benefit increase conversation. If your gross benefit rises but your net deposit doesn't, check deductions first. Medicare premiums can change, and that change can eat the whole increase. If your net deposit drops, don't panic until you confirm the deduction math. Write the deduction amount next to your net deposit so you can spot patterns. If the deduction change seems wrong, then you call with specific questions. This step turns a confusing bank number into a clear, solvable explanation. Step 5. Update your contact details, especially your mailing address, before notices go missing. Don't assume the post office forwarding service will handle every official letter. Confirm your address, phone, and direct deposit details inside your official account. If you moved recently, do this even if your mail mostly reaches you. A single missed letter can mean weeks of confusion and wasted hold time. Also, decide now that you won't share codes or passwords with any caller. Do this week, because scammers love adjustment season more than any holiday. If you follow those steps, you'll feel a different kind of confidence. It's not the confidence of perfect knowledge, but the confidence of a plan. When a deposit changes, you won't spiral into fear or blame yourself. You'll check your account, compare your notes, and act with clear questions. That's how you protect your money and your peace at the same time. Also, remember this simple rule when something feels urgent and scary. Real agencies let you verify calmly through systems you already know. Scammers push speed, secrecy, and pressure because pressure makes people slip. So if you feel rushed, that feeling itself is a warning sign. Slow down and make the situation prove itself before you do anything. Let's review what we covered today. April 2026 can bring recalculations, timing shifts, and deduction changes in deposits. Some retirees may see higher monthly benefits and unexpected back payments. Others may see net deposits change because Medicare and deductions shift too. You now know to check official accounts, track timing, and separate gross from net. You also know why banks can't explain federal adjustments, even when they try. This information can protect thousands of dollars and a lot of sleep. Here's the final punch I want you to remember. Confusion is expensive, even when it doesn't steal a single dollar. It steals time, energy, and confidence, and it makes you easier to manipulate. But a simple notebook and 5 steps can beat that confusion every month. You deserve a calm mind when your money hits, not a panic attack. If this helped, here's what to do next. Subscribe so you catch the next update the moment it drops. Share this with someone who relies on benefits and could get blindsided. Comment your state below, because rules and resources can differ by location. If you've seen a strange deposit, comment yes, so others feel less alone. I read comments and respond when I can, especially when patterns show up. Your engagement helps this reach seniors who need it before April hits hard. Important disclaimer: this video is educational only, not legal, financial, tax, or medical advice. Every situation differs, and rules can change based on your state and income. Consult licensed professionals like attorneys, CPAs, and financial advisors for guidance. If you have benefit questions, use official government channels to verify information. What works for one person may not work for your exact situation.